So we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. I have 7 p.m. for all of you and 2 a.m. for me. No amendments to the agenda. So can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Do we not?
Oh, do we have?
Ron, were we going to do the budget?
That was up to the mayor, and I didn't hear back.
Oh, okay.
From him.
Sorry.
It's appointee, so.
Thought we were just missing it.
Oh, if you text me, Ron, I've had a little local SIM card in my phone for the past couple of days. So
we had a budget committee applicant. It was Katie Wallace from the Exchange Club, volunteered to be on the budget committee. I have no other applicants. If you want to appoint her tonight, you can, or we could put it off to the next meeting.
Let's put it off to the next one and shoot me that application just so I can see it.
Okay.
So gonna get a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay.
Vote by roll call.
Okay. Councillor Caceres.
Aye.
Councillor Seha.
Aye.
Councillor Ecclestone.
Aye.
Councillor Lee. Nope, sorry, he's not here. I knew that. Councillor Sini.
Aye.
Councillor Wick.
Aye.
And Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
That's a unanimous vote.
So first up, we have Cascade School District. Hey, everybody.
Hello, thank you for inviting us or allowing us to present to you tonight. We're going to go through a few informational items, and if you guys have questions, just let us know. And I think I should be able to share my screen.
Yes, you should.
Okay. Does everyone see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cindy, do you want to go ahead and start?
Sure. So first of all, thanks for letting us join you tonight. We appreciate it. I am Cindy Ganfield. I'm the principal at Aumsville Elementary. And from Cascade, we also have on this screen Zach Mincer, the assistant principal. We have Madeline Sattler, who is our director of communications, and Darren Drill, superintendent, is in the meeting as well. So we are proposing as a district a $56.3 million dollar bond on the May ballot. And the proposed costs to the taxpayers in Aumsville, they are currently paying a tax rate which was passed in 2005 of $1.21 per $1,000 of assessed value. The state school fund does not support building upgrades or general maintenance. Those are things that are covered only in bond levies. And our district has the state school fund mostly for operating costs and just personnel costs and some basic maintenance. So if the proposed bond measure passes, the Cascade School District taxpayers would pay approximately 92 cents in addition to the $1.21 for a total of $2.13 per $1,000 of assessed value for 25 years. If the proposed measure does not pass, then the tax rate stays at $1.21. The state of Oregon has offered us a grant, which Scott Pillar in our fiscal office has already applied for. And if we pass this proposed bond measure, we also get $4 million in grant funds to make our bond levy money go a little bit further. One of the things that the Cascade School District is doing is creating an independent citizen-led bond oversight committee that would establish the uses for the bond funds. There is a committee of people that has met for the last 18 months that did a facilities needs process, I guess is a good word for it. And So as we get into this presentation, we're going to kind of show you what was determined to be needed with this bond levy money. So the proposed measure, while it is interesting timing in terms of the pandemic, we started this process way before the pandemic. And there's four main areas that we hope to address with this bond levy. We hope to address health, safety, and security concerns. This proposed bond measure would include health, safety, security improvements to every single building in the district, as well as ventilation systems and health upgrades to buildings that are older and in need of those. One of the big concerns that this bond levy would address is the community growth and classroom overcrowding. There would be additional classrooms on almost every single campus. And it would also allow the Cascade School District to repair and upgrade existing buildings. It would, if the proposed bond measure passes, it would reduce operational costs by making repairs and energy efficient upgrades that would modernize the schools and redirect those funds that are being used to kind of plug holes in the dam and redivert those funds back into the classrooms. And then Cascade has done some groundbreaking work in the area of student career pathways, and the proposed bond measure would enhance those vocational programs for students who are pursuing health services, sciences, or trade careers. So the next couple of slides are kind of a quick overview of what the bond levy would provide on each campus. And Zach, I'm going to go ahead and let you take this part.
Sounds great. So for Aumsville Elementary, there are, I would say, some of the major projects in the bond are at Aumsville. It adds 10 new classrooms to our K2 building, and you can see those in the orange here. It also eliminates the current 3-5 building. That's the red brick building there with the flat roof, and just a lot of maintenance costs go into upkeeping that building. So to eliminate that facility would be a savings. It renovates 6 classrooms in our CDC, which is right here by the bus barn. And then the plan would be to move our kindergarten over to that area as well to empty out some more additional class space in the main building. It would update security systems. One of the issues that we have currently is we have 2 buildings with kids in them. And so going between the buildings presents a pretty significant safety issue, just in the supervision, not having a completely enclosed space for kids to go in between classes to PE, to music, to library, those types of things. So that would help on the safety front. It also would create a new multi-purpose gymnasium area that's here in the blue. And then it would reconfigure our parking lot, and it's really just listed right there, and that would help with separating out our transportation from our parent pickup and drop off. Turner Elementary also adds 6 classrooms. It would also enclose the school to help with that safety issue. Turner has 2 stories in its main building here. We would add an elevator so that we're ADA compliant. They would create paved parking and a bus loop. If anyone's driven through Turner during pickup or dismissal time or drop-off time, it's pretty much a parking lot here on the street, and that presents some additional safety concerns as well. Like Cindy mentioned, all of the buildings will receive updated security systems and HVAC and filtration and those types of things too. And yeah, update electrical and mechanical systems as well. Any questions so far about the presentation, Council? Okay. Cindy, do you want to take Cloverdale?
Sure. So Cloverdale Elementary sits out on Parish Gap Road, and it has multiple buildings. You can see in the slide, the 2 buildings on the far right tree line are modulars, old modulars that have been there for quite a while, and those would be removed. And the addition of 6 classes would be added on the downside of the property, which is kind of where the current playground sits. And so we would have 6 new classrooms there. And then the blue also indicates enclosed walkways, so that this school would also be all centralized and interconnected. Again, security updates, windows and flooring as needed, and upgrading mechanical systems and electrical services in a building that celebrated its 100th year quite some time ago. The junior high campus would experience a new multi-purpose area that would function as a second gym. On the main campus at Cascade, there is a lot of teams, both school and youth organizations, that vie for gym time. So a second gym on that junior high campus, as well as 4 new classrooms, updating security systems, replacing windows. This building also requires frequent roof repairs and brick masonry repairs. Flooring and ceiling finishes would be replaced. Again, upgrading mechanical and electrical services. All buildings would receive these same capital upgrades.
One thing to add to the junior high, we talked in our facility needs committee about the possibility of pre-wiring or pre-piping in the ability to add a cafeteria to the junior high. So if we find that we have excess funds, or the oversight committee deems to use that $4 million grant to go that way, that would be an additional thing. Right now, junior high students go to the high school to eat lunch in their cafeteria here. So that would be another option as well. For the high school here, this is the new building that was built started in 2005. One of the original plans was to create a science wing here. So this bond would address that. They were unable to do that in that first bond. So they would create this science wing that would free up actually 4 classrooms here in the main building that teachers could then, there's quite a bit of overcrowding here in the vocational building, so then teachers can now fill this new space. So it would create new classroom space as well. It would also cover the walkway here, and then this in the lime green is updates to our vocational building. And like Cindy mentioned, Cascade has done a fantastic job with CTE funds, and they just really were a model for the state on what to do for students and creating those career pathways. So this would give us some ability to expand our CTE offerings to students and really make an up-to-date state-of-the-art facility for them. Like we talked about, every building would receive some upgrades to the roof, security systems, HVACs, make everything ADA accessible, and so on. And then the Cascade Opportunity Center, this is where our, what was originally called the alternative school is housed, and it's the old West Staten Elementary School. It would also make it ADA compliant with an elevator, update security, repairs to roofing, flooring, and then updates to electrical services. That is what our facility needs committee we just ran through everything. That was a lot of the most important things they said that needed to be addressed with this bond. Any questions so far from the council? Okay, Cindy, anything to add?
Just that the reason that we are presenting to you tonight is because we registered with the state of secretary our intent to ballot. And so this will show up on the May election ballot. And we just want to continue to be in partnership with the communities that we serve. Zach, would you advance one more slide? Just again to state that if this bond doesn't pass, safety and security, new classrooms and repair and renovation projects would not be completed, and the property tax rate would not change. None of these projects have been set in stone. These are all things that we would put out RFPs for after the bond levy is voted on. And if the proposed measure passes, then we have a lot of work to do moving forward from there. And we can answer any questions, or we can move on with your agenda, Mayor Clevenger.
Anybody got anything?
I kind of have a question with the remodel and expansion of all the facilities. How many are we creating? Some more jobs and getting more teachers into the schools? What are kind of the numbers that you guys are expecting to do with that?
Sydney, can I go for that one?
Please.
All right. So Doug, thanks for the question. Over the last 6 or 7 years, we have grown from 2,100 kids in the district to 2,500 kids in the district. And what's happened over that period of time is we have added a number of teachers, obviously, right? When you have 400 more kids, you're going to need more teachers to make that happen. The trick of it now is that we're running out of space. And I was watching last week the Portland State informational session that they gave about Marion County and the growth rate of Aumsville and the growth rate of Turner. And while it's going to be not as fast as they had predicted 18 months ago, it's still going to grow. So when you ask about that, absolutely, we've added a number of teaching positions, number of IA positions. I would say 60% of our teaching staff lives in our district, but I would say 85% of our IA positions and secretarial positions live in our district as well. So that's going to grow our community for sure. Our administrative team, almost half of our administrative team lives in the district as well. So it's a growth process for sure. That's going to make it very difficult if we don't get something passed. We're starting to look at closet space and repurposing some areas like in the cafeteria during that time. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I just know a lot of times when these get presented, everybody goes, well, it's more money that I'm paying, but it's, if we're giving opportunities to those in the community to get more jobs, and with the growth, it's not going, we're just going to spend a bunch of money on the buildings. We can bring in 4, 5, 6 more teachers into every building, and well, not everyone, because some of them are bigger than others, but in theory, it could be bringing in more people to teach the kids and keep the classrooms from being overwhelmed and spreading out the kids. So I think that's just information like that's really helpful for the community to hear and be able to address as well. Thank you.
It's a great point, because let me finish, Zach, and I'll turn over.
Yeah.
We're averaging about 24 and a half students per class right now. And we don't want that to get bigger, right? Class size is important to us. And I think that's important. The other piece is we were talking about that growth piece, right? When we passed the 2005 bond, that started just under $2. It was like $1.94, $1.95. And over time with growth, right, it's down to $1.21. So we figure at 213, 214, that's going to, every year it goes, it's going to start to drop the number back down as well. But that's the growth that you're talking about for sure. Zach?
Okay.
And that's what I was going to add. Just our growth is going to lower that tax burden as well.
Great.
I mean, for the council, like we talk about, growth is partially on us as well. So if this does pass and we want to be the best stewards of the community's money, we have to ensure that we are doing what we can to encourage that type of positive growth we want to see. Anybody else have anything? I'm not hearing anything. So Cindy, Zach, Darren, Madeline, everybody who's on the call, thank you to all you guys. They had to waste a chunk of their day showing me around and getting me spooled up on all this. I'm very appreciative of it. And I think they all know at this point, I'm sold. I'm on board. So hopefully we can make this happen.
Thank you
very much for everyone's time tonight, and we appreciate having the opportunity to share with you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, public comments. I see 2 attendees. Anybody have any public comment? Just press the little button to raise your hand if you do, and we'll get to you. I'm not seeing anything. So visitors, I don't think we have any other visitors. Consent agenda. Everybody get a chance to read through the minutes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, one thing on the minutes, it said that I came in at 7:07, logged in, and I actually was
noticed.
early that time.
Yeah,
Okay,
I noticed that was from the meeting before, and I just,
Right.
when I copied and pasted it, I didn't catch that until today. I seen it actually. Sorry.
Okay.
I will correct that.
Was there anything else on there? So do we have a motion to approve with that change?
I move to approve the consent agenda with the change to Counselor Wick's time entering the meeting.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
Vote by roll call.
Counselor Caceres,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
Motion passes. That's a unanimous vote.
No public hearing, no old business, new business. Take it away, Ron.
All right, item number 6A before you tonight. One of the projects on the council's water capital facilities plan that's a high priority is installing a emergency generator for the 1 million gallon reservoir. Currently, we do not have a emergency generation on that reservoir. The contract and the scope before you tonight for West Tech Engineering is to put together the specs and the design of the emergency generation system so that we can put that out for bid proposals in the future as a capital project. This design project, if you agree to it, would be expensed out of our Water Improvement Fund 28. There's plenty of funds in there for this scope. Would leave about $300,000 in that fund. And this is the first step to getting the emergency generation, which was also one of the projects we talked about in our strategic planning session. So, council has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I think we all know we need this, right? There's no question about that. So do you want a head nod, Ron, or you want a motion?
Yeah, a motion to approve the contract with West Tech Engineering. I think there's a sample.
Yes.
For you.
All right. Does anybody have any questions before we do a motion?
Get it done.
All right, who's got a motion for me?
I move to approve the service contract with West Tech Engineering LLC in the amount of $32,000 from the Water Improvement Fund number 28 to design the booster station auxiliary generator for the 1 million gallon reservoir.
We have a
Seconded.
second? Cool. Vote by roll call.
Counselor Caceres,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
Motion passes with unanimous vote.
All right, so 6B up for your consideration is a design contract, again, for our designated engineer, which is West Tech Engineering. And this is to design both the Delmar East and the Delmar West intersections. And the contract has 2 phases. One is a 30% design all the way up to a 100% design. And the contract amount is for the 100% design, but we'll do a 30% design, review those documents, and then they'll finish the design work for both those intersections. This was part of council's initiatives. One, to try to assist the interchange development property in developing by adding certainty with a design and cost of build for the required intersection. And then secondly, to provide a through street down Delmar onto 11th, and to do that design. If the school bond passes successfully, that's one of the things that we will look at is modifying the plans to the entrance exit, so we take full use of that through street. And there is some additional development that is likely to occur during that same time period in that area. So there may be some cost sharing opportunities there to lower the cost. But it's also on this project's also on, both projects are also on the council's transportation facility plan as priority projects. So basically, if you want to move this forward and start that design work, there's a sample motion there for you as well. And this would come out of Fund 30, which is our transportation system development charge fund, even by approving the full contract amount of $364,020. There's still going to be a little over $300,000 in that fund.
Anybody
Happy to
got
answer
any
any
questions?
questions.
We've talked about this one quite a bit already. I think it's a good step forward for getting that interchange development area going slowly but surely. So do we have a motion?
I move to approve the service contract with West Tech Engineering, Inc. in the amount of $364,020 from Transportation Fund number 30 to design Delmar Street's east and west intersections and improvement.
Seconded.
Second. Vote by roll call.
Counselor Caceres,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, and our final action under new business tonight is a approved resolution 0221. And basically what's happened here, the history is late last year, the council reviewed and updated all of the city ordinances. And one of those ordinances was the authorization to levy system development charges for water, sewer, parks, streets. And that was replaced with Ordinance 678. Our previous resolutions, which actually memorialize the methodology used for each of those facility charges, which is memorialized at the plan adoption phase, all reference the previous ordinance, which I believe was 328. And so with this resolution, all council
327.
Pardon me, 327. Okay, sorry. There it is. With this resolution, all council is doing is reaffirming the previous resolutions, applying it to the new SDC authority, which was the cleanest way we were advised by legal counsel to take this action. So all we're asking for is authorization to 0221. It doesn't levy any additional SDC charges. It just memorializes what our current rate is. And I believe we've applied that SDC rate sheet as Exhibit A in your packet.
I remember just before my first term started was when the SDCs were slightly raised. And I remember thinking at the time that I thought they should have been raised a little bit more than they were. But I mean, I don't know if that's a discussion we need to have right now. As far as just memorializing what we have for now, I have no issue with that. And then if we want to have a discussion about increasing the SDCs further a little later down the road, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and that was specific to our park SDCs, because when you came on board, we were actually approving the park master plan.
Mhm.
And we did under our authority we had the authority to charge much more for park SDCs than we're currently charging. And if you want to look at that, I'm happy to come back.
Well, the discussion I'm referring to was just before, and I think that the council had agreed to it was like a 10% increase on commercial ones and a few others. But yeah,
Yep.
We're probably talking about the same discussion.
Absolutely.
Anybody have any questions? You got a motion?
I move to approve resolution 0221, reaffirming the city previously established resolution 2407, 1810, 1515, 1918, resolutions that establish city SDCs for transportation, parks, water, and sewer funds as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Vote by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, moving on. Your report, Ron.
Just the only thing in my report is the review of the registers, the check register, and then I've just got 2 small talking points. I don't know if you want to do the register first and then do the talking points. It's up to you.
Whatever you want to do, Ron.
Okay. I think you just review the register. I don't think we approve those anymore.
Yeah.
Just a couple of things. Oh, I actually have 3 things. Just to update council, our current COVID numbers, and these are accumulated numbers since the pandemic began last year, are at 265 within the Aumsville zip code. I think we're doing really well. We don't seem to be a hot spot. We're still getting positive cases, but I think the community and greater Aumsville area is doing a pretty good job of keeping those numbers down. We will be getting our ballot box delivered tomorrow. City staff will actually install that, but we'll have that 24-hour ballot box available for the next election cycle.
Nice.
And then we will be having our event planning committee meeting. And I know sometimes council members of the council attends, but I just wanted to pose the question today. It seems like we are starting to ease restrictions a little bit, and it's very likely as we get into the summer that we'll go down in risk category, and some of those restrictions will be eased even greater. We really need to start planning for our Corn Festival event, and I need to gauge direction from council on how you want me to approach the event this year. I don't think, even if we wanted to do a full Corn Festival, that this would be the year to expand. But I think that there's probably the ability to certainly put on a good event, and maybe we'll still need to have some sort of COVID restriction plan in place or distance plan in place, but we do need to plan now if we're going to have an event in person or if we're going to do some modified type event. And I just need to get some feedback from you before I take this to our planning group.
I would say plan for an in-person event. Worst case scenario, we already kind of have the blueprint laid if we need to do something like we did last year. So shifting to that as a plan B would not be all that difficult. But I mean, they're saying what vaccine rollout to everybody is starting in like May. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to have an in-person event. I think you're right that this probably isn't the year to expand. However, I do think we always need to be improving upon ourselves as far as that event goes. But I'm fine with planning for an in-person event.
And I think the big risk for us is council's expectation on if there's a cost associated with that event to the city, because we'll have to go out and incur some expenses. And we may not be able to recover those expenses. So really that's the question, because we could certainly pivot as we get close to the event, but there will be some expenditure commitments.
Honestly, I'm fine with the expenditure commitment. My opinion, if we can do an in-person event, people need this. We've been locked up for a while, man. People need this. So if there is a cost incurred, I think that is probably going to be money well spent as far as keeping the community happy.
Kind of feel the same way. I think we can always plan, for the best and be ready if we have to switch those things around. I think slowly as the vaccines start rolling out, we're going to start. I mean, I don't think our world is ever going to be the same after this. So eventually we need to just start moving forward and making adjustments as we go. And I think the town needs it as well.
Okay, I see 2 or 3 heads shaking. Anybody else?
I agree.
All right. Well, we're gonna work in that direction with the event planning. Just from consensus, I can see everybody agreeing or nodding. We'll work in that direction from the event planning commission and committee, and we'll come back to council with some drafts of what our plans are. How's that sound?
I need a beer garden, Ron. I'm in a dry country right now. I need a beer garden.
Maybe we could talk to the schools and have a rock concert over in one of their fields. I mean, they got a lot of room over there. They all nod their head, Ron. Make it happen.
Yeah, I was saying we weren't the year to expand, and now we're on to a rock concert.
Yeah.
School of Rock style, of course, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. That's all I had for council tonight.
All right. Mayor and councilors reports. So as everybody knows, I am currently in the country of Mauritania. Yes, it is a dry country. It's hurting my soul. But no, I'm still set to return on April 3rd, I think is when my flight gets in. I have to nail down the exact dates, but it may be a short turnaround. I may be headed back over here for a week to Niger the end of April, but that's still kind of up in the air. Outside of that, it sounds like there's a couple weeks this summer that I'll be gone, but I will be stateside. It's live tissue stuff. I'll be teaching out in Denver, but shouldn't impact any of the meetings or anything like that. So yeah, that's everything on my side. Anybody else got anything? I'm hearing crickets.
Yeah.
Well, if nobody has anything, we do have an executive session. So we can go and, well, you want me to adjourn this one, Ron, and then we'll bring it back up, or just jump into the executive session and we'll adjourn the whole thing at once?
Yeah, basically, we could go ahead and just take a recess and let our participants could go ahead and exit out of the meeting. We're going to stay in this meeting. And then we can just open the executive session and announce the time once everybody's out.
Okay. Well, we will do that. We'll go ahead and recess. Again, Cascade School, all you people, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.